All right, the one thing I learned from my friend Douglas Holtz-Eakin, the former CBO director, is that when push comes to shove, in most elections, it really is about the economy. If it's doing well, good for the party that is in the White House. If it's not good for the party that's in the White House. And wouldn't you know, the economy is a very big issue. In fact, the top issue for now in various polls for voters. The aforementioned Mr. Holtz-Eakin with me now. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
All right, that being the case, I guess it all depends on your perspective on the economy. It has improved from where the president first took office, but as you've often reminded me, not to the degree people feel it or are convinced that it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, what people point to is, look, the unemployment rate's come down to under 5%. Aren't we doing fine? Well, that means 95% of people have a job, and they haven't gotten a raise. And so there is a very large disgruntled electorate out there that wants to see the economy do better. And when you get to June, July, and people start making up their minds about the presidential, if things don't look better, that's bad news for the Democrats,
and
historically.
That's the inflection point, right? It's how you feel in the summer, because there's a delay effect with this, right? We learned from Bush Sr., ironically, the economy was rounding the bend coming out of a recession, but people didn't feel it, and Bill Clinton got it.
Yeah.
Another distinguishing element in 1992 was the role of Ross Perot. Third-party candidate, got almost 20% of the vote, not a single electoral vote. And now, lo and behold, you hear Donald Trump talking about being an independent.
Yeah, you know, and we've got Bernie Sanders, another wild card who's, in many ways, pushed this race in places we didn't expect. So I think what Trump has done most successfully is give people a place to blame for their economic woes.
But whose rage is more real and palpable at the ballot?
I think the people who are frustrated are the people you hear wanting minimum wage increases they want to raise. I mean, they've been working hard.
Bernie Sanders fans.
And so some of them go to Sanders because they want the government to fix their problems. Others are conservatives. They've seen, you know, 7 years of Barack Obama. They're not going to go to the government, so they've gone to Donald Trump. And he's really been the one who's given them an effective scapegoat, if nothing else. I don't think he's proposed one thing that would help them, but he said, look, you can blame the Chinese, blame the Mexicans. I won't let that happen again.
All right, one of the things he also talks about, which brings in more people to the tent, is the disaffected for both parties. And his argument has been, we were chatting with him during the break, look, yeah, you're darn right, I'm alienating some Republicans, but I'm bringing in far more. Do you buy that?
I think that's what he wants to do. I don't think that's in the data yet. I mean, really? It's relatively early. Yeah, I mean, we've had one real primary. You know, we'll see what South Carolina does, but there's no evidence on the ground that he's
South Carolina, and he's up by 50 to 20 points. Now and I know in what, 7 to 9 of the SEC states, he's leading there. Many of them by double digits. He could be off to the races, right?
No. Okay. The RNC has rigged it, largely because John McCain clinched earlier than any Republican ever had. They've decided to make sure this gets dragged out. So between March 1st and March 15th, all those primaries, they're proportional. So if Donald Trump gets 40% of the vote in every one of them, he's only about a third of the way to the delegates he needs to get the nomination.
You're feeding my prediction. I said this almost a year ago. That's going to be a brokered convention. One person is not going to...
I come to feed your ego deal.
But no, in all seriousness, I look at the math and the proportional voting. It would be very hard for one guy to get there with all the delegates necessary, right? Right.
Well, the scenario people, sort of point to is, well, on the other side, out of the Kasich, Bush's, Rubio's, some drop out and it turns into a one-on-one and they beat him. The trouble with that is, Florida's a winner-take-all. Why would Bush or Rubio drop out? Ohio's a winner-take-all. Why would Kasich give up? So there are reasons why this could drag out for a long time. Yeah.
But the normal rationale is if you're after a first ballot, all bets are off after that, right? Because delegates can be wooed and everything else. Right?
Yeah, all bets are off. The Rules Committee is the most important person. And our best historical precedent is President Garfield, who after 30-odd votes became the nominee because he had been head of the Rules Committee. And that's the way to play a broker convention.
It's good to be We know what happened to him. All right, thank you, my friend. Very good seeing you. Douglas Holtz-Eakin, a great historian. All right, you've heard this idea about the establishment versus Donald Trump. Well, you know, the Democrats have an establishment as well. That establishment is in the form of superdelegates that have made Hillary Clinton the unstoppable nominee right now. I was shocked to find out when I was in New Hampshire last week, you know, there was Bernie winning by a country mile. They left New Hampshire even in delegates. I mean, as Donald Trump would say, that's huge. It's not a very good impression, is it? Can you do it? Can you do the huge thing? Can you, Doug? Can you do a huge?
I don't do huge.
You don't? I admire that. More to this.